What's up, weebs? Welcome back to Anime Lane, the podcast where we take you down the yellow brick road of anime and have a look at everything it has to offer. As always, I'm your host, Notorious, and joining me once again today is Shaun.
Hello.
And Melina.
Hello.
Yeah.
Your weird
It's
hello
one of those
It's one of those episodes, apparently.
We're doing this now.
Yeah.
So we've talked about VTubers in the past. I guess just smash cut straight into it.
It's the only way you can.
Yeah.
Only way we can.
You weebs.
You know you're on an anime podcast, right?
Not by choice.
Wow.
We don't kidnap you every time.
No, I'm tied to this chair. I can't leave. I might as well, give my opinion if I'm here.
She says that, but she's the most excited to do this every time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Who do you think recommends all the anime? Who do you think owns everything already?
On the advice of our lawyers, we have to state she is not tied to a chair.
Help. I am blinking twice.
So last time we sort of just fumbled our way through discussing the idea.
Yeah, because that episode wasn't originally supposed to be about VTubers either.
No,
it just sort of happened
became
halfway
about
through.
it. Yeah.
But now we can actually dedicate it with
Yeah.
a sort of plan.
So I think Melina now has a general grasp of what
Ish.
it is.
Yeah.
Ish, yeah. I'm sure you'll still have questions. That's sort of the point.
And on our other podcast, you did the iceberg as well.
Which was probably even more confusing out of context.
Yes, because it was just the deep lore. I'm like, who's this? It's like, oh, okay, so.
It's great because I was pretty new as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of the lore was new to me.
Because that was a while ago. Funny thing is, I don't think that episode's still come out yet as
No.
we're recording this.
No.
I think it has.
Has it?
I think it has, yeah.
it has, because we
Oh,
ended up
okay.
splitting that into, I thought it was coming out after Halloween for some reason.
Now, why would it do that?
Do you know our schedule? It's pretty weird.
No, it's perfectly organized, and we don't ever move anything about.
Yeah, we all do these without.
we
I mean, the
record
problem
the
isn't moving stuff
Thursday.
around. It's sometimes the fact that we're like 2-3 months in advance.
No,
No,
we
we're-
record this the day before it comes out.
We're very
so to be
efficient.
nice and relevant.
It's funny getting questions from friends about stuff, and I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what did I say again?
Do you want to talk about that? Because your family listens.
August.
Yeah, sometimes I just get like a text out of context just about the latest episode that came out. I'm like, what are you talking about? Why are you texting me this?
It's like we got a comment from a friend of mine on the last episode that came out, which was talking about what were we talking about? But James Cameron's note on the Ghost in the Shell
Oh,
Laserdisc came
James
up.
Cameron.
Yeah, who's not even British.
No.
I would not have remembered that conversation had I not had to attach the little note at the beginning that it was recorded back in August, because a whole bunch of stuff happened with Crunchyroll, and even by the time this comes out, I'm sure more stuff will have happened and they'll have absolutely ruined the anime industry further. But it was only because when I opened the project to add that, that's where the playhead was. So I hit play to listen, and that I heard that whole shenanigan where we tried to read it. But if I had had that comment without having to attach that little thing, I'd have had no idea
Yeah.
what they were talking about. But yeah, so we're returning to the VTube sphere. So we're entering into VTube files number 2. I guess
Get
we'll
VTube
go
pulled
with
again.
VTube build. So the last time we talked about it, you, Shaun, were kind of new. Like,
Yeah, I'd only been like in the
couple of
rabbit
weeks.
hole for like a month or two.
Yeah. Whereas now
Almost.
we're when did we record that episode?
About like July, August.
July, August. So we're now in November.
And you're still there. You're still in the
Yeah,
rabbit
I
hole.
can't get out.
And stuff. I don't want to say stuff's happened because it always makes it sound like you're talking about like drama, but I don't.
Events occurred.
Events have occurred, whether they are good or bad or indifferent is.
Yeah, you're up to your interpretation.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start?
That's the thing. Where do we want to start?
We can start literally anywhere, really.
Yeah.
On this list we have of things we want to talk about.
I guess the immediate thing is like not long after we recorded the last episode, you managed to introduce me to
Yeah, that was new.
yeah. So Rin Penrose of Idol
Core.
which is not a confusing
No,
name at all because they're all sort of idols. And so
very generic, isn't it?
yeah. So something that I don't think we ever really explained before was the idea of talent agencies. And so this is like whenever you look at like I'll pull one up. I'll pull up Rin's channel real quick.
And you know, I've gotten like not as much of a newbie anymore because I don't say idle N anymore.
Yes, that confused me at first as well. I was like, what is idling?
It feels weird. I listened back to like something just because I was like bored and I wanted to hear it again, and I heard myself say that, and I was like, oh no, Shaun, that's not happening.
Oh, you were so young.
Like 3 months ago.
So this is a sort of like common channel name here. So you got the talent name,
Yeah.
channel, and then
The company.
Idol.
the company, and then the
EN.
branch. So
I'm assuming EN English or
English, yeah,
Yeah,
EN.
okay.
So you'll have JP, or usually I think if it's the JP branch and that's where it originates, that might not be present. It might just
Yeah,
be
it
like
might
just be-
Hololive or
yeah.
whatever.
Which, you know, makes sense, but I usually see like it's specified as JP.
Yeah, so you got JP, EN, ID for Indonesia.
Because it's bigger than Indonesia. I think we talked
yeah.
about it, but
There was CN for some of them, which is China. But I think Hololive and Nijisaki both shut down due to events.
we're not going in. We're
Let's
not
not
that.
get
We're
into
not that kind of podcast.
No. Let's just say it involved what it always involves when it comes to China.
yeah.
It's exactly what you think it was.
And
Let's just leave it at that.
someone saying a place that definitely exists, but according to China, doesn't.
Atlantis.
Yes. We'll go with Atlantis. That's our euphemism for.
Every man wants the journey to Atlantis. A mystical city thought to be lost to the sea.
We're not getting China money. Why are we censoring
Why do we censor
Taiwan?
yourselves? Taiwan, yeah,
Yeah, why
someone
are we
mentioned
censoring
Taiwan.
Taiwan?
That kicked off a whole thing.
Yeah.
And so most of the Chinese branches shut down.
For acknowledging a place existed.
Yes. And it wasn't even due to one of the Chinese people saying it. It was one of the JP members said it, and
That sounds more
Yeah.
about right.
So yeah, this is how it typically works. And so Idol was an agency
Yeah.
that has a bunch of talents, and so the division, what are the, and we call them generations, but that's
Yeah.
not typically units. That's I think the official.
Yeah, that's more right.
So isekai here, not spelled for any of the anime fans here as isekai,
No.
ISEKIA. It's E.
Which for the
dash-
longest time I said Isekai.
I mean,
Isaki.
that's definitely wrong.
Yeah.
And then you got isekai, so email plus sekai. And we hadn't heard of them until you found Rin, and then
Yeah,
started
because
sending
she
clips of
popped
Rin
up
to
in my
me.
recommendations, in the shorts recommendations specifically, and she wouldn't leave.
I mean, that makes sense when you go to her shorts section. She does a lot of them.
Yeah, and they're really informative, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Which, you know, you look at her main streams and they're like the complete opposite.
Yeah. She's
Because I wouldn't trust her with any sort of information whatsoever.
no, she's sort of talked about like contracts, what it means to join an agency, sort of like behind the scenes things that go on.
Oh,
that-
interesting.
yeah. So
She seems more like collected together than in the shorts than anything else.
yeah. Then you watch her streams and you know.
She breaks into fucking
Yeah.
arms by playing a DS game.
Yeah. So I think Isekai is the second generation.
Yeah, I think so.
Um
There's Isekai there
yeah, so we got other members of Isekai, but I think
on our monitor.
was it I don't know which gen was first, and that's the thing. As Rin also pointed out once, no one knew who Idol was until her generation debuted. And I think she's still the most popular.
Yeah, I
Of-
think so, because I think like the algorithm just picked up like again her shorts
Yeah.
a lot, and that's how a lot of people have found her.
'Cause
Because
you
she's
got-
got like 600 like K, which is pretty good.
Yeah. And then, you know, you got her other gen mates, and you got Yuko, who's got 230-ish. But then it
Poor Fuyo.
yeah. Yeah, then you got Juna, who's only got like 76.6, you know, still good.
Yeah.
Pochi's got 73. And Fuyo sadly only has 68. F. And it sort of dips when you look at the other gens even more.
Yeah.
So I still don't really know much about Idol, and I've not really stepped outside of Rin.
The funny thing is, neither have I.
I've seen a couple of things like collabs and stuff, and I don't mind the personalities of some of them because ultimately that's what most of it comes down to. Do you jive with the personality of the person, and then you kind of go from there.
Because I watched like about half an hour like a Fuyo stream once, and I was like, okay, this is cool, but I don't want to spend this much more time with you.
Yeah.
No offense to her.
I kind of like Juna as well, but again, I've just never kind of dedicated the time to like go through any of her full streams or anything. Just mainly, I think sometimes you prefer how everyone bounces off each other rather than watching people
on their own
individually.
Yeah, I definitely feel that with a lot of like the holo talents.
So yeah, that's Rin. Kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, just and
when
hasn't
you left
suspected
us alone since. She's just kind of been harassing us the whole time.
Very on brand.
Very on brand.
Get out of my house.
She's on her walls. And then right as the last episode came out, it was the week that the Hololive English third generation
Advent,
debuted, which is Advent.
Woo! Go!
Yeah.
Go.
I mean,
you don't have to fake enthusiasm.
No.
It's cool.
It was sort of an interesting thing because like it was a bigger gap than normal because we had a year between Myth and Council Risk, who are now Holo Promise, which is a whole other thing.
Technically, if you count like Iris, it was close to like 6 months, wasn't it?
No, because Iris only debuted a month before
Oh,
Council.
yeah, I keep thinking she was like really early in that year.
No, so she debuted I think September, and then they debuted October, because I think the second anniversary, or was it?
No, they were in summer. Because I remember their second anniversary was like in August or July.
Holo Promise. Let's see.
We're professionals.
So Iris debuted July, and then it was a month later.
Late August.
You had Council, who are now all Holo Promise.
Yeah, they rebranded.
Which, them becoming a single unit has been a long time coming.
Yeah, it made a lot of sense. They basically were like, especially after Sana like graduated.
Yeah, and it's weird that they did all of the anniversary stuff and then rebranded and didn't use the, spectacle of the anniversary to
that would make sense.
rebrand.
Yeah, just sort of link it together.
Because Ira showed up in pretty much all of the anniversary stuff.
Yeah.
To the point that I think even all the Hololive official Twitter account stuff mentioned Council Risk.
Yeah, there was like an official hashtag at that point.
But then it became Holo Promise, which is just all of them, in one unit. Not that it changes much. They were sort of unofficially
practically nothing changes. It's just an official sort of. They're the same unit now.
Yeah.
Because they always really were.
So they debuted in 2021, and then 2022 went by and nothing happened. Everyone sort of expected Gen 3.
I will say I keep calling them Council even though they're Promised.
I still call them Council as well.
And that habit probably isn't going to die for a while.
Yeah. And it wasn't until July this year that we ended up with Advent, which I think sort of set up some expectations.
Yeah, kind of.
And I don't know if they were met.
It's hard for me to judge. I mean, the thing is, I was sort of like, it's weird, because I was very new to just still Gen 1 and 2 at the time. I was still sort of ambivalent. I was like, I gotta get used to these people a bit more before I focus on Gen 3. So I sort of kind of stayed out of that first month of them. It's only really now that I'm watching and more of their stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if we mentioned it in the first episode, but there's sort of a rule that not a rule, but a sort of rule of thumb.
A sort of precedent, I guess.
Yeah, which I've mentioned to you at least.
Yeah, which I think is a good rule.
Is that the first year is never anything to judge any of them by, because
you're still getting used to.
Yeah.
I think we talked about specifically Callie in her first year. She's very different personality wise or in vibe compared to where she is now.
I think that goes for most of them in the sense that they all debut playing a character, and to take the term from wrestling, the whole kayfabe thing, which is the act of it all, the theatrics and stuff.
Yes.
But as you kind of, and you feel like you have to, or from what I can tell, they feel like they have to, play up to the character, play up to the, whatever ships that the fandom find at the time.
some fan service. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then and that leads to some awkwardness because you can kind of tell that it's not
Genuine.
them genuine. Whereas that sort of fades over the course of the first year, and then by like year 2, you're looking at
it feels like a lot more of their actual personality lived in, and it feels better.
Yeah, and we should state no parasocialness to it.
Oh,
it's
God,
just,
no.
Like there is definitely still the character there, but they feed more of their own personality, and it feels more genuine, and you can kind of become more interested in watching their content because it doesn't feel as cringe.
To use the term.
Yeah. Like these are, from what I would assume, people who've never done this before. So
No.
No.
It takes so much time.
For Hololive and actually most idol agencies.
I can get why you'd think, because I thought the same thing, but no, they usually pull from like people who have experience.
So pretty much every talent will have a past life, which is the stuff they did before Hololive, and some of them still continue it on during Hololive. Certainly, I'll mention that Callie still does stuff related to her past life.
We will not say names.
No, because that's a general
Just
sort of thing you don't,
common courtesy.
Yeah. So it's usually people who have some experience, but it can be quite a diverse range of experience. So Callie was primarily a musician beforehand. Crony was a voice actor, I think, from what I can gather.
I haven't looked into too much because it feels weird too.
Yeah, I know that Kiara was a streamer beforehand. I think Iris was also a singer. So they pull from like a range. So not everyone's a streamer, and so I think that's where some of the awkwardness comes from. But they definitely pull people who have previous experience for the most part. That's not to say you can't get in without previous. Yes. My mum was opening a chocolate wrapper there.
This is great. I love this.
What were we talking about?
I still think that
We're still on VTubers.
Yeah, we are. What's happening? I don't know what's happening.
They might have previous experience, but they're being not dumped into a world, but they're being introduced to a world that has already like an established audience.
Yes.
And
So I think the pressure of that,
Absolutely.
will take a while.
That's something, we have like a sort of list here of stuff that we wanted to cover, and one of these was Vesper Noir and Magni Desmond both graduated from Hollow Stars, which is the male division of Hololive.
Yeah.
And I think what it largely comes down to is that both of them have their previous lives, which were both streaming and both were small-ish audiences, but established audiences. But going from that to the level of attention that you get just from debut with Hololive is insanely different. The expectation is different because you don't just have the audience side of it. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff you have to worry about too, because it's not like you just
it's a
step
business.
in.
Yeah.
You don't just step in and stream 5 days a week.
It's,
and that's
it's going corporal basically.
Yeah. You have to worry about meetings. You have to worry about staying within, not just YouTube terms of services, but also
Their personal sort of business statements and stuff.
What's that? I thought something started speaking for a second there, like a fucking Furby. That was weird.
It's the schizophrenia. Don't worry about it.
I keep losing my train of thought. Business side of things. Yeah, so there's, and usually you're not just involved in streaming. You'll have music, you'll have voice lessons, you'll have music video stuff that you need to deal with. There'll be
schedules.
Yeah, you'll need to edit content to go out, whether it's shorts or videos.
So they said they edit themselves.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I know. I think Rin definitely has an editor for like her shorts and stuff, but I know like some VTubers have like they edit their own stuff. And Monarch definitely, who we're going to talk about in a minute. I know.
Yeah.
Just jump the gun on that. She definitely has like a separate editor.
Oh yeah. I think most independent ones will have an editor as well.
Yeah.
Just to make, because I think for
easier.
most independent ones, I'm gonna jump the gun because we're gonna get to them.
Sorry, to
have
just sort of fast forward this.
other jobs in some capacity, because Monarch and Sayu are both voice actors in real life, and so like there's no past life. It's everyone knows who they are.
Yeah, there's no secret there. Which,
There-
by the way, it's hilarious when they're playing a game that they've starred in.
Yes.
Because that happened with Monarch once, where like she was playing a game and then like she's listening to a character and you can see the gears turning in her head. She's like, "Wait, is this
shit,
me?
that me."
Yeah, me." Sorry, I'm jumping a gun, but, back to Hollow.
So Advent, and so we've both sort of only started now.
Yeah,
You know, 3-4 months later.
yeah, past the initial cringe.
Yeah. And I'd say there's still 2 that we're not keen on, and we'll sort of go over that. So, you know, they debuted in July.
Yeah, let's talk about the actual members.
Yeah,
here.
so you
For
got-
people who maybe don't know, like,
Me.
Yes. So you have Shiori Novella, Kaseki Biju, Narissa Ravencroft, and why are you looking at me like that? No, like we'll get to that. And Fuwawa Abyssguard and Mokoko Abyssguard, and these are the 2 that I think are going to be a focus at first, just to get them out of the way.
Yeah.
Because they're
They're
twins,
sisters?
and they're literally IRL twins. They share a
Oh.
channel.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I appreciate that it's unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
different.
their thing is that they usually like they stream together, so like it's usually not like just one or the other. It's usually both of them at the same time.
That's
Like
nice.
they don't have independent channels. They're both have Fuwamoko.
Yeah,
I don't know if it'll let me link to that somewhere.
you know, I appreciate the idea.
Yeah. Nope, that's just back where I was. What's happening?
I don't know what's happening.
Here it is. Yeah. So there's no Fuwawa and
Separation. Yeah.
Mokoko.
Yeah.
It's just
They are one.
They are one, and they always stream together. And-
Again, appreciate the idea. It's
Yeah.
just, you know, it's just sad that they're my least favorite of this gen.
Yeah, they sort of have a more cringe.
On personality
Yeah,
that I don't jive with.
yeah. They're
I think it's difficult when you're you know each other, so there's no disconnect you
Yeah.
can make from like, oh, this is a separate thing from us personally, because you're with someone that
Yeah.
knows
yeah,
you,
yeah.
and they can just call you out. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you talking like this? You don't talk like this.
the problem is
Thing
they
is-
both end up feeding into each other more than anything else.
Oh,
They
yeah.
make each other worse.
Yeah. I'll try. Hold on. I'll see if I can find one of their shorts, and you can hear what they sound like. Do they have shorts on the channel? Or I'm gonna have to look one up.
They have 4.
They have a total
Wow,
of
okay.
4 shorts.
Oh yeah. Let's just let you hear their more recognizable thing. What is this playing out of? I don't know.
Speakers.
I don't know what's happening.
We're gonna hear it from your room upstairs.
I can
what's
just hit
happening?
record and it's gonna go from here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine then.
Okay. So, technical problem. You know, it's a good thing this happened when we were talking about Monarch, because the Scuff curse hit us.
Yeah. Why the fuck did that happen?
We're almost 2 years in to this podcast.
And this is the first time this has ever happened.
Yeah.
Welcome to the first big fuck up.
Yeah.
And genuinely have no idea
How this
how
happened.
that happened.
Dear listener, I'm so sorry. You lost like half an hour of our conversation.
There is a whole conversation missing.
About
how half
VTubers.
hour, because it just cut off after during like in the middle of us talking about Fuwamoko.
Yeah.
So I think there's half the conversation missing about Advent. There's a whole conversation missing about Vest and Magni's graduation, Monarch and Sayu,
Joel, can't forget him.
Joel, can't forget him, Myth Hiatus, Clipper demonetization, and Schlatt. And Iron Mouse, we talked about Iron Mouse.
Yeah, we talked about Iron
Oh,
Mouse,
goodness.
V-Shoujo.
Yeah. I don't really want to spend another half hour
Yeah, because
Re-talking.
we
per
don't
se.
want to
about
like
it.
genuinely talk about a conversation we just had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sadly, VTube Files 2 is fucked. Thank you,
It's
Monarch, for the
cursed.
scuff.
Yeah. Hey, we don't choose the Scuff life. The Scuff
Scuff Life
chooses
chooses you.
us.
And we've been doing this for 2 years, scuff free.
Yeah, like the worst
moment
we've
we
done.
talked about Monarch.
Yeah.
This had to happen.
The worst that's happened is us spilling a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
And I'm
never
talking about
actually
Michael
done-
here.
It's never actually done much though.
No, it's never had an effect on anything.
No.
Keyboards have gone into flames over it.
No.
And like we should mention that we're doing this all on a laptop that I have hooked up to a monitor. I have the mouse and keyboard in front of me, and this whole time we have not even been on Audition. It's been running in the background recording as it always does.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have done this so many times.
We've been on Chrome looking at different things. Even when I play videos, it's never once start recording. It catches us playing the Fuwamoko stuff.
Yeah.
And then suddenly just stops. It's never happened before. We didn't go on to Audition for any reason. I was
Didn't
just jumping.
touch any weird buttons.
No. I was just jumping back and forth between Notepad and Chrome. And even if I hit my keyboard, it should have registered into both of those programs rather than Audition. So why it stopped recording, why it's done that, I genuinely have no idea, especially because there's still plenty of space on the hard drive.
Yeah, it's not like a space problem. So.
No, I mean, it's only 600 odd megabytes and there's still fucking 300 gig free on my laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Very weird. Well, one question I want to ask about VTubers, now that we have the time.
yes.
Yeah.
Why boobs so prominent?
Why do you think?
Yeah, that's the answer to that question.
No, but why?
Why do you think?
This is the other thing.
Horny.
This
Yes.
is yeah. But
Fan
this is-
service.
This is the
Still.
thing that I mentioned, I think, in the cutout when we were talking about Vesper, is that there's a whole diverse range of female designs, and that goes for the chest sizes as well.
Yeah, to go into this. Look, you brought up.
You brought it up.
No, I brought it up. Fair.
There's large, medium, small, flat. You know,
Yeah,
as boobs work.
as boobs work.
Yeah, you know, they're all represented.
Yes. But then again, you have guys where it's like they're either
There are two designs.
There's-
skinny,
Skinny guy or
Buff
beefcake.
man.
beefcake, yeah.
Or Dorito. We have also
Yeah.
discovered Dorito is
There's
an option.
the whole kind of EK man type thing where like they're very pretty boy or they're buff dad bod. You know, there's
Yeah.
no.
There's Tall Creep, there's Henry Cavill, and there's Metro Man.
Oh my god, Henry Cavill's a VTuber? That's
I mean,
ridiculous.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Let me
Honestly,
pull
yeah.
up Robiru.
That would be so fucking funny
That
if
would
one
be
of
amazing.
VTubers at some point just came out and said, "Oh,
Is
by
it
the
him?
way, I
I'm
don't
Henry
think
Cavill."
anyone would
No,
notice.
not him.
that I'm
There's
Henry
someone.
Yeah.
There's someone in Hollow Stars that looks kind of like.
Cavill-like?
Yeah.
Cavilish.
Cavilish.
Let me go into the.
I mean,
Hollow
if someone
Stars.
looks like Geralt, that's good enough.
Oh my god.
Oh,
There's too
that's-
much information on.
Just give me the pictures.
That's a lot
That's
of
Hollow
words.
Lives.
Where's stars? Stars. We're at stars. That's Tempest.
Yeah.
There's
'Cause-
the Fallen.
Oh, maybe it's a different agency.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, there's Roberu.
No, I don't think it's Robiru. I think I was mixing him up with someone else.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, it's unfair, you know? The women have to be very scantily clad, boobs very much
don't
present,
have to.
and guys don't get anything. Where's men cleavage?
Yeah, that's a
Where's
good
the
question.
meavage?
I'm sure it's there somewhere. I mean, we saw Joel.
We saw Joel.
Yeah, but Joel's a monster girl, parentheses male.
Sayu has a female model.
Yeah.
But why are the models? That's the whole point.
What do you mean?
Where's the muscle cleavage is what she's asking.
Yes! Where's the
It's-
V?
It's there somewhere, you just gotta look for it.
Yeah. I'm sure there's models out there that do that.
Yeah, but
You can find your mall to be down bad for, it's okay. You'll find it eventually.
You can
where
be
was
thirsty
Henry
on
Cavill
me.
again? I think it would be so funny though if just a regular celebrity
Yeah,
would
be-
just kind of pick up a VTuber like mantle, and
Yeah.
no one was sure enough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
it's their alter
It's
ego.
like he sounds a lot like this person, but I don't think they would. I don't think Chris Hemsworth would.
You know,
would he?
I genuinely don't think I'd put it past Henry Cavill
Yeah, exactly.
to do
That's what I
something
was
like that.
I mean,
It
he
feels
is a
like
PC
it's something
nerd.
he would think about at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah, it was so fucking funny.
Like,
be
he would
amazing.
literally just stream The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
As a Geralt model.
Yeah.
And be like, guys, guys, what do you think of my Carol impersonation?
Yeah.
And everyone in the comments like, it's shit.
Oh,
Shit.
fuck.
Everyone asked him, did you watch the show? He's like, I've never heard of it. Never heard of
They
it.
made a show.
A modern reenactment of Charlie Chaplin getting like 5th place in a Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest.
Yeah. People just start saying, I think Liam Hemsworth's going to be a better Geralt. He's like, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Probably will. Yep. Great.
Yeah, like the chat, it's like they know. They know, but they don't want him to know that they know.
They're just trying to piss him off.
Do you know that it knows that it's following me, that it knows that we know?
You know, I think
I did not know
I
that.
think Henry Cavill was one of the worst Supermen. You know, the whole art, I don't think he did it well. I think he takes steroids.
They're just all the fucking subreddit posts being like, Henry Cavill is not this VTuber.
Everyone's just
The
confused.
chins don't match.
Like a bunch of fandom accounts about Henry Cavill are like, he would never. I know him.
He
Me-
would not say that.
He would never do this. He's not a weeb. Probably is.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, he's into Warhammer.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
very thin line.
Yeah.
I
He's
feel.
even producing the Warhammer film.
Yeah, he's the man behind the Amazon-led Warhammer universe
For
thing.
his sake, I hope it does well.
Yeah.
Fucking nerd.
I said for his sake.
Yeah.
You pointed that at me very specifically. I don't even like Warhammer.
I don't know anyone
I-
in my IRL who does.
No, I don't know either.
I can't get into it.
It's too confusing.
Yeah.
I haven't gone into like even D&D yet. I don't think I'm ready for Warhammer.
D&D is so impenetrable if you don't know anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Okay. If
already
there's
knows it.
anyone listening who's wanting to just help us out
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
we'll do it on a podcast. You
Open
know,
audition
it'll be
right
fun.
now.
Email us.
Yeah.
Email us now.
At Anime Lanecast on Twitter, or you can go to Blue Sky where we're at animelane.net.
Yeah. See, this is
Yeah.
what happens when we lose like a half an hour conversation. We just start plugging ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. Please.
This is
We would
literally
love
just
to.
going to be a very short episode.
Yeah,
'cause-
We're
because
so
we don't
sorry.
want to, give you a conversation that just feels
No.
like us trying to
Yeah.
refine our steps here.
Yeah, we can't just like pretend to rehab a
No.
conversation.
So yeah, we have no idea what happened, why that happened.
I'm really sorry that they didn't get
Yeah.
to hear that because that was a fun conversation.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully VTube Files 3 goes better whenever that comes up.
Give it a
It'll
year.
happen.
It's now cursed. You know that.
Yeah.
It's risky now
Hey,
to do it.
no. The first one was absolutely fine. This could just be a fluke.
It could be a fluke. I swear to God, if this happens when we're doing the next set of episodes,
I'm gonna cry.
I will actually.
Well,
put
now
my,
we're gonna be paranoid about it.
I am
so
going to
we're
put my
gonna-
fist through that monitor if we lose
Yeah.
any more recordings. I'm already not in a great mood today.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for listening. We're very sorry.
Yeah.
If we would apologize, more if we knew what we did.
Yeah.
but we genuinely have no idea.
It just stopped.
And the
Yeah.
fact that the program or Windows never bothered to throw up anything to let us know.
Not even a
No,
noise.
yeah.
No.
Thanks, Audition.
Yeah.
We'll continue to use you, but
Fuck
you're on
you,
thin
Adobe.
fucking ice.
This is what happens when we upgrade to Windows 11.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first episode we're recording using my laptop updated to Windows 11, so
Cursed.
fuck knows if that's the problem, but
I still blame Monarch and the Scuffed.
That's fair.
Yeah, it fits too well.
yeah.
That's gonna be the title now. Fuck you.
Correlation is
Okay.
causation.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll bring the episode to an end here and we're gonna go record other stuff and hopefully not fucking have this problem again.
Yeah.
Yeah, get fucked, Adobe. Bye.
Bye.
Fuck you, Dolby.